Another menu you can get into in the another sub-menu you can get into, I suppose, is you do have a kind of bestiary, a list of all the enemies that you've dealt with. It can be a little bit tedious to get through, at least in the PS4 version, because loading in the models for every single enemy takes quite a bit of time. Mm-hmm. But you can go through and look at every single thing that you've fought so far, even stuff you haven't assessed. For example, the Scorpion Sentinel robot we fought in Mako Reactor 1, which we could not assess because we had not yet met Chadley. And he had not bequeathed the assess materia to us.
That's for a New Game Plus run.
New Game Plus, yep. I'm pretty sure that's the only enemy that you absolutely cannot assess until a New Game Plus. I think there's a few other things that are like tricky. You'd think maybe you can only get them on New Game Plus, but you can if you're smart enough, if you're clever enough, if you dig deep enough. You can see shotgun, grenade, and potion or other abilities you can whip out in addition to just whacking you or shooting at you, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a little magnifying glass next to enemies that we have successfully performed assess on.
Okay.
And it's a trophy or achievement or whatever you want to call it if you assess every single enemy in the game.
Boulevard. But if it wanders into town, a lot of people could get hurt.
I'm pretty sure there's an achievement for it anyway, I think. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think there is.
And you've killed 44 enemies so far, mm-hmm. 44 vermin.
Don't get yourself hurt.
Though right now there's not going to be any random vermin out here because we got to look for the one wild dog that they were telling us about earlier. Just looking at what we actually had in the inventory there.
Looking for the wild dog, not the standard kind.
There's not going to be I'm pretty sure that the enemy we're looking for is the only thing that spawns out here right now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
How'd that car wind up in that situation exactly?
Well, I mean, it's a dump. Who knows? Maybe it fell from above. You know, maybe it's remarkably durable and it fell from the plate.
You know, you raise a good point, Joe. You raise a good point. Hey, you know, Shinra, they build stuff to last, man. They build so many amazing products.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember this part in the game coming out here, and I was like, "This is oddly empty."
Wrathhound.
Get ready. They said some Shinra mutt that got loose.
Yeah, he is extremely muscular.
Yeah, this dog is ripped.
Does not have the nice black coat that the other one had. That one's just yucky looking.
Yeah, like most monsters, this guy's weak to ice, but because ice takes a second to go off, as we've discussed previously, and this guy, as you're observing, does not stand still, so...
Well, he's rabid.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to hit him with ice. It's a little bit hard to hit him with ice unless he's pressured.
What was that?
He used an ability called Flee that let him leave the fight.
Just like we do. It sucks when an enemy does it, but it's okay when we do it. Right?
This is scripted. This enemy is like a legendary Pokemon. He runs away when you get him to a certain health threshold.
Ah, I see.
And he scattered those boxes, I guess, because normally those are stacked up on the right side of the road. Well, let me just clean them up for him real quick.
Weird.
We can't leave these boxes behind. One of them must have something in it, right?
No.
I always felt that it was weird
nothing.
that you can't, like, when you're out of combat, you are stuck to the one attack animation. You can't, like, you know, change.
Yeah, swing more. I see you.
I drove the hound into the area up ahead. He's pissed, so make sure you're ready.
Did you, like, take any pot shots at him with your gun? Maybe whittle down that HP a little bit?
So I think we would have heard shots.
I know guns kind of suck against swords and don't do that much damage, but...
Guns in this universe specifically just kind of suck in general.
Well, that's kind of, that's in general video game rules, right? Because in order to make a game functional...
Well, it depends on the video game. Right?
I suppose, but I think about something like a Devil May Cry or whatever. It's like, in order to, if your characters have access to guns, why would they use swords under most normal circumstances? See, I tried to get a blizzard off on him while he was pressured there, but I still wasn't fast enough.
Watch yourself.
My turn.
Yeah, I can't tell if you tried to dodge that or not, but that's another thing is, like, abilities and whatnot can't really be, like, whenever I play a game and there's a dodge roll, I try to treat it like one of them Souls games.
Yeah, but you can't dodge out of the way of those grab abilities that things do.
Yeah, I ended up, like, learning towards the mid half of the game. I was like, I have to be blocking.
Using
some of
certain
these things.
attacks on them sends them into a rampage, also making them susceptible to interruption. Sometimes the yellow text is more useful, and sometimes it's less useful. Certain attacks, okay. Don't know what that means.
No.
There is one point where you're told you can use a certain attack on this enemy, and in that one instance, I do think it's kind of like a puzzle with an obvious answer. But most of the time, I don't know. It seems like we've already forced him into his enraged state anyway, considering that he's glowing with white eyes now and moving around quick. Anyway, as you can see, I'm kind of getting my ass kicked here.
Whoops.
Yeah, I mean this was when I shot this 2 years ago, so I mean, I'm not gonna claim I would have done better right now necessarily, because right now I'm even more out of practice than I was when I recorded this. But yeah, it didn't go well. Yeah, see, I even tried to counter it there. Doesn't work.
No good.
You can't do anything about those grabs except I don't know. Maybe there's a way to interrupt them with like certain attacks. Like if you hit them with a big magical spell that does a lot of damage, maybe you can interrupt them. Like if you hit them with a weakness while they're charging. Maybe you can move literally, like, just completely away from the fight, but I think most of the time, if somebody wants to grab you, they just grab you.
Try this. Do this one.
But yeah, this guy and the Drake can give you a little bit of trouble if you don't go in with wind magic on your characters. This guy is probably tougher. I mean, he moves so fast. I mean, you're seeing Tifa's having a hard time even getting hits on him. And it's hard to land Blizzard on him even if you do have it equipped because he moves so much. But once you stagger him,
heck yeah.
hopefully not too bad.
Yeah, when I mentioned that I had trouble to Drake before, I went into that fight before getting Arrow.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, first playthrough, you don't know how you're going to get it. So,
Very
because
good.
I went and I cleared the yard, and then he's like, oh, there's something else, and I just immediately went there.
They did a perfect couple finisher there.
Very good.
So one other thing I want to talk about, we're going to loop back around and talk about music again. During that fight, we were hearing a rendition of the standard battle theme from the original Final Fantasy VII. So something that's interesting about this game is that this is what you would hear in pretty much all standard encounters in the original game. Pretty much any battle you got into. This game has a lot more music variants, so we don't actually hear "Let the Battles Begin" that often, because they'll have specific music for specific fights or battle themes for specific areas. However, there are a number of renditions of "Let the Battles Begin" in the game.
I was gonna say, I thought there was one version of the song that was playing like during the escape sequence when we jumped onto the train, like at the end of the bombing stuff.
Yep, so the version that was playing during the fight with the Wraithhound a second ago is also one that plays, I believe it plays a couple different times, but then there's this version, which plays during the entire sequence from Sector 8, the sequence of escaping from Sector 8. Even when you are not in combat, there's a version of the song playing. But then this also transitions, this has multiple phases, both for just walking around and the different fights you get into, since there's a set number of fights that happen during this sequence. And so it transitions into its own variation of when you actually get into fights as well, it has its own, up-tempo version. Well, same tempo, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and this game does that a lot, and it is always effective. It's so, I love that, no matter the game, but this game does it very well.
You're not going to hear individual tracks from the OST of this game repeat too often. There will be, the same theme will be repeated, but it'll be because it has 4 variants or something like that. So that's just a theme to point out, because we will hear a lot of versions. Well, I'm not going to return to him. I gotta check these crates first, see if they have anything of value. They had nothing of value.
They had nothing at all, actually.
But yeah, I wanted to highlight that because there's not one singular battle theme in Remake anymore, but you are going to hear variations of Let the Battles Begin, like, kind of all throughout the run of this game. You'll hear it kind of for mid-boss enemies, like the one we were just fighting. You'll hear it at particular moments in the story, etc.
Took care of the dog, did you? Whew. We owe you one.
Gotta say, I've never seen a Shinra breed like that before. Out of curiosity, when exactly did it show up?
Oh, today. The first reports came in just this morning. Why do you ask? Wait a minute. There's this crazy story about a Shinra research lab hidden right beneath our feet under the slums.
Huh. Really? That's news to me.
And here I thought you might know something I don't. Well, I guess not.
It's a big organization. I'm sure there's lots of secrets I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. You got the bastard. That's good enough for me.
Completed.
Okay then. That's another solid gig in the books. You know, the whole town is really impressed with what you've done. Keep it up, and you'll have enough work to keep you fed for a lifetime.
All thanks to you.
And don't you forget it.
So where do we get paid? The shop or something?
Yeah, but why don't we head back to the apartments first? Take a quick breather.
Which lesson was that again?
Basically, if you
one.
complete all the side quests in a sequence, like I was talking about last time around, you get to see some additional content that you would not get to see otherwise. And I don't just mean the content of the quests themselves. Like there is an additional like completion bonus essentially.
I scared half to death.
It's an excellent incentive for actually doing side quests.
Huh? Someone's back awful early. Not that I mind. Would you two be dears and swap your filters out for me? I left them in your rooms.
Sure thing.
Not so fast, you. Do me a favor. She needs a friend. A real friend.
We're already friends.
So when she talks, are you really listening? Thinking about her and her feelings? Or are you just going through the motions? Go on.
Okay. Okay, lady.
Toughest challenge for Cloud yet.
Talk to woman. Communicate
Let's
with
take care of this real
female.
quick, okay?
Sure.
2 females in a row?
Come over when you're done.
Crazy.
They handpicked this one mission because they knew the gamers were going to have a really hard time and really sympathize with them.
Can't go in there. Not quite as exaggerated as his PS1 shrug. And I don't want to mess with him either. I got stuff to do.
Got a
So,
filter to change.
There's a system in the original game. There was a
It's
hidden.
dark in here.
The exposure was like it was not adjusting right because the camera was still detecting us as being outside. So it didn't adjust quite right until I got the camera and Cloud both all the way into the room. There's a hidden system in the original PS1 game that doesn't affect the story really at all, but it affects it affects a couple of like minor interactions in the game. There's a hidden affinity system where your dialogue choices throughout the game are some of them, not all of them, but some of them are working toward a hidden point system about Cloud's like relationship with a couple of other characters. It's really not a big deal and something that can be completely ignored. But basically, if you're nicer to one character in a certain instance than another character, then that one person like gets affinity points or whatever. Everybody's frozen again. So for example, when you have the option to give the flower in the PS1 version to Tifa or to Marlene, as we saw in the previous video, if you give the flower to Tifa, she gets affinity points, and if you give the flower to Marlene, then Barrett gets affinity points.
Oh, okay.
It's a really like I said, it affects like a couple of minor interactions, and there are like 2 scenes in the game that play out differently depending on whose affinity stats you have. It's just a little minor reactive thing the game does.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if a lot of folks didn't even know it existed.
I'm willing to bet most people who played the game did not know about it and would not have realized that there was a system until a replay of the game, and maybe noticed that a couple of those scenes were different if they made enough different choices for the scenes to even play out differently. So this game doesn't have quite that hidden affinity system because it doesn't have nearly as many dialogue choices, and also because it doesn't get far enough through the game to get to those moments that were affected by the affinity system in the original game. What it does have is a couple of optional character-specific scenes that are basically only going to happen based on how many cutscenes, how many side quests we complete. So right now, we have done all of the side quests to do right here, and we did them all with Tifa. So we're gonna get a little Tifa, a little extra Cloud and Tifa scene right now. Later on, completing side quests, as I said, is mostly just gonna get us additional cutscenes. There are some other things that it's going to affect. There are some hidden parameters, but we'll talk about those later.
So, after you left the village, I let you off the hook before, back at the hall, but not this time.
Well, when we were kids, everybody wanted to be a soldier, right?
Yeah, I remember they were on the news every day during the war.
Thing is, by the time I finally made it in, they didn't need heroes anymore. It was nothing like what we dreamt of. It was just working for Shinra. Just...
I'm sorry. I know it's a touchy subject.
Not exactly small talk. Especially with someone you haven't seen in a while.
I get it. Still, it's kind of funny. Us going our separate ways, thinking that must be it. That we'd never meet again. And then here, of all places, we do. You know what? We should totally celebrate. Let's dress up and hit the town.
Really?
I mean, why not? It'll be fun.
Ooh, the back down, the crossing
have
arms.
fancy clothes?
Ooh, jeez.
Not like fancy, but I'll figure something out. What do you think would suit me, huh?
Oh, this is dangerous. Oh, this is dangerous. Something much sporty, exotic, Cloud. Cloud.
I feel like sporty is the safe answer.
There's a correct answer. I just don't remember which one.
I don't know, because
if
you say sporty, then you're like, you don't think of me as a woman. Like, I don't know. There's
Something
as
like
a woman, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we're not kids anymore. Be sure to pick
something
an outfit that
refined
goes
was
with
better
mine,
wording
okay?
than something mature. To be
Yes.
fair.
Will do.
Pick something
Cloud,
that
do
fits-
you have clothes?
She said pick something
This
that
is
fits
gonna
mine.
be so much
We'll have to.
fun.
We'll have to go
You'll see.
shopping. We'll have to go shopping later.
Yeah. Maybe.
And on that happy note, I think it's time we headed back to the bar. Come on.
You don't need a break?
Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. Marl isn't always right, you know.
Oh?
Oh, oh, oh,
Hey, Marl, we took care of the filters, so we're gonna head back to the bar now.
Take care, you two. Oh, you're looking pretty chipper.
I don't feel that different.
Must be my imagination, then. Anyway, keep your wits about you, Merc. A token of my appreciation. Be good to her.
Crescent moon.
Crescent
charm.
moon
You'll
charm.
get no second chances from me.
You'll get no sympathy
You'll
from
have
me.
no sympathy from me.
Just to talk.
Pick a god and pray.
People need more than empty words. They need to know you're there for them, and you'll still be there for them when things get tough.
Somebody's
That
been divorced a
knowledge
few
alone
times.
gives a woman wings.
Can I talk to the dog?
gonna
Does the
say,
dog have
can-
any relationship advice?
Can you pet the dog?
No.
You cannot.
You'll get
Never
no
mind.
second
I take
chances.
it back. This is no longer a good game.
Oh well, it's too bad.
It is.
At least we could pet cows in Uncharted.
We could do
true.
that. Star bracelet. It's
No,
got
it's the
two
moon. It
has
materia
more
slots in it, and we got
slots.
the crescent moon slot Reduces damage taken when equipped to non-active characters. So basically, if you're not actively controlling that character, they get a slight defense buff.
Interesting.
That is a nice thing to slap on, you know, anybody if you got nothing else to slap on them, obviously. I typically like to put that on Barrett.
I was just about to say.
Since he's kind of the team tank anyway, and I typically spend less time controlling him manually than the others. Let's see if I thought that was a pretty good hangout.
I'm gonna say he has depth to his gameplay and whatnot, but a lot of that doesn't really come into play for a little while. Also, he's just he's not as fun to play as the active.
You don't need to micromanage him as much. He's kind of just maintaining continuous stream of fire on an enemy, and he's doing his thing over there.
Exactly.
So you do have the option here. I mean, you had the option for quite some time of just heading back to the to the bar and progressing the story. But you can grind out fighting against monsters here if you want to, which you can see I've done a little bit here. I've leveled up a couple of these materia a few times. And you can run through the abandoned factory or through Scrap Boulevard basically as many times as you want to just keep fighting monsters.
Oh yeah, you unlocked regen. That was my favorite healing spell the whole time, like the whole game. You just regenerate a little bit of life. You know, over a certain amount of time,
the cure materia has 3 tiers of just like straight cure spells that do more healing. I also maxed out the assess materia, which means when you use it, you assess all targets that are in that encounter.
Which is incredible.
That is crucial. You need to get that as fast as you can because wasting an ATB to get one enemy, then wasting another ATB to get another enemy. Now you can just, like, the second you find, when you go into a new area and there's new enemies, you get ATB, you cast assess, you get everything, you move on. You don't have to mess with any of them anymore.
There's just one more materia that you're lacking that makes that process extremely painless.
Yeah, there's a materia we're gonna get that lets you start with some of your ATB already filled up. And once you get that, you can basically have Cloud start with a bar of ATB, and if you're encountering a new group of enemies, you just cast Assess, and if you're not, cool, you get a free move at the beginning of the fight.
That's pretty dope.
Like, it's one of those, obviously it only works, it's only matters really for random encounters. It's okay for, you know, big ones because it lets you set stuff up early, but it's like, it can delete encounters. Oh baby, Moogle medals.
Moogle medals.
Is that the first one we've got?
No, we got a couple in previous episodes. Those are RNG drops that come from crates like the other stuff that we see, the Mako shards and the potions and stuff. They're basically collectibles. We will eventually find a unique vendor who will trade rare items for Moogle medals.
So they're a secret that'll help us in the future.
Yes, they're a secret tool that will help us later. At this point, our second level spells are strong enough. I mean, they were pretty strong in the first place, but we don't even really need to waste our time shooting the blizzards. But now, higher level blizzard also shoots out a much larger, you know, initial bit of ice. When it explodes, the area of effect is much wider. So it's a little bit harder for enemies to get away from the stronger blizzard spells.
Okay.
They do have a wider area of impact. But yeah, so if you can convince your party members not to attack too hard and too fast, the were-rats have the ability to summon help. So if you can get into an attack with were-rats, you can make one were-rat into 9 were-rats if you let them, because I think they only use call to arms like twice in one battle and then they quit. But one of them will call typically 2 or 3, I believe. So you can get a lot of were-rats into a fight, otherwise, you have to leave the entire area to spawn in more enemies. So if you give the were-rats a second to breathe, you can make a few more spawn in. You can grind a bit more efficiently. One thing to note is the spot over here where we killed the big dog, whatever it was, no enemies ever spawn over here. So unless you really just want to try your luck on those boxes, don't ever bother going back over there.
Interesting.
It's not worth it.
Speaking of not worth it, 2 things. Number one, the Gundam crap that Joey was talking about earlier. Your friends are dragging you through Gundam. But as soon as I said, speaking of not worth it, I was going to lead into Gundam, but then I remembered something else. So I've been grinding a lot. But wait a second. Whoa. That's the wrong number. We need one more. But wait, hold on. Oh my god, my AI. My AI companions. Cloud, do not kill that Gruger. No. Roll away. Tifa, you roll away too. Cloud, do not go back and kill. Do not do that. Do not do that. Tifa, no, don't do it, don't do it. Cloud, I need 400. 400 even. If I get 401, I have to get 500. Stop, roll it, nah. Tifa, do not punch. Do not hit that. Get out of the fight. Get away from them. Do not go back. And I think we're clear. We're safe, baby.
Because there is a way to flee battle, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I was doing it. It was fleeing up at the top corner of the screen. It said at the top of the screen. It said fleeing.
It didn't work though.
No, it was working, but my AI were continuing. My AI companion was going to continue to attack. Did it? Boom, 400. Now I don't need to grind anymore. There's definitely not a file where I got that number up to 999.
Girl who went to Walmart and never came home.
Just to see what would happen. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
It's you! You're the merc everybody's talking about.
hero,
Am I
come on.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Knew it! So, the board here tracks how many monsters folks have taken down, right? A bigger number means a safer town, and who wouldn't want that? Just between you and me, though, they're pretty much all your kills. Cool, huh? Anyway, keep up the good work. We'll try to make it worth your while.
So it is actually doing a little bit of grinding here, because if you get up to 50 monsters, you can get some little goodies. 10 for 5 potions, you'll hit that easy. 20 for a pair of revival earrings, and 50 for MP up materia, which is the same thing as HP up, but increases our magic points instead of our HP points.
At this rate, we won't have to worry about monsters ever again. What a thing to be able to say. Thank you so much.
She says that as soon as you get to 50. She doesn't have any dialogue if you go farther than that.
Ah, smell that fresh air. That's the smell of a safe and happy town, and one you could be proud to call home. Hey there! How's it going? I don't think anyone's ever gonna beat that record of yours. It's incredible.
Wanna bet?
Trying.
Hey there! How's it going? I don't think anyone's ever gonna beat
Literally all I have to do is go back over there and kill one more monster. You're lucky I have OCD and care more about that than my record, lady. Revival earrings are imbued with spirit capable of restoring one's fading consciousness. Revival earrings, that's a bad description. I gotta go into the actual equipment screen to see what they do. They will revive a KO'd party member. Only once. Breaks upon use.
Yep.
So it's one free revival.
Interesting.
It sure is. However, that wording is poison to my brain, and I never used it.
Neither did
what if
I.
I needed it later.
Not even that.
yeah.
I was always in a position where I would prefer buffs over that.
Yeah, exactly. That was the real answer. It was like in my head, I was like, well, it's early game, and
but it's
what if I
like
need
the
it? And then
it's like the auto cure materia. If someone's having a difficult time managing the action combat, it's it's one more thing to potentially help you out, because you can buy a bunch of revival earrings from one of the stores around here. I think from the weapon store.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, auto cure is nice, but that's a materia slot that's being taken up.
You must be tired.
Same as you, I guess.
Could use a little something to take the edge off, right? How about a refreshing cocktail made by yours truly that you can sit back and savor?
Tifa.
Yeah, I'm feeling it a bit too. Hey, do you think you'll stick around a little longer?
Maybe. Work for a minute, build up some savings.
I see. So, what'll it be? Want to head back out for a little while? We're back.
Did you have fun?
Lots of fun.
Hey, need y'all downstairs.
Right now? Then the plan is...
Marlene, wanna go wait for Jesse out front?
Okay.
Looks like we're officially on for tomorrow night then. Gotta go over the details with the others.
Before you do, about my pay.
You'll get your money. So sit down and shut up until we're finished. Double time, Tifa.
And if you caught that, the sound that the machine was making was like a really fast version of the prelude.
Sorry.
It's like...
In the meantime... grab a seat. What'll it be?
Ah, more choices. Something hard or not in the mood. All those are the only things Cloud knows how to say to impress a woman at a bar. I'm not interested, or hit me with your best shot.
I don't know. Something hard and bitter.
Oh my
and
god.
bitter?
He doesn't know anything about alcohol. He's never had an alcohol in his life. So Tifa has...
Is it really a cocktail if you just pour one thing into ice and shake it?
Don't worry about it.
They're in the slums. It's the best they got.
She's got... Listen, you're gonna see in a second here, Tifa has a cocktail materia slotted.
Most people would say something sweet right about now.
I'm sure they would.
But you're a more discerning customer, aren't you? In which
Watch
case...
this. She shakes it more. Why is it red now? How'd she do that?
Our house
She's just
special,
that good, damn it.
the Cosmo Canyon.
Beautiful.
Oh, he's such a dork. Oh, he's such a loser.
He's so cool, though.
He has no game. He has no game.
Listen, they didn't teach you game.
They didn't teach me how to talk to women at Soldier. That's the plot of Agent Cody Banks.
Hey, you see the news? The reactor bombing was the work of the eco-extremist group Avalanche. Public enemy #1. Gets your heart racing, doesn't it? They don't know our faces, so we're in the clear for now. But we'll want to capitalize on this momentum. Speaking of which, you coming on the next one?
For the right price.
Oh, you can bet I'll be pushing hard for a raise. Tifa will be joining us too, but I don't know. Even a blind man can see her heart's not in it. She was never on board with the bombings, so if it comes down to do or die, if I've got to put my life in someone else's hands, then I'd rather that someone was a professional, like you.
Oh, gee whiz.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. So, I don't recall if I talked about this like during a prior recording, or if it was like during one of our like off sessions discussing the characters, because we've been talking a lot the last couple sessions, just like while we've been prepping stuff. I don't want to like get too ahead of myself on talking about like little details of characters, but there's a lot of interesting character writing in this game, and a lot of it is like a lot of stuff that's really easy, like fun to appreciate about this game when you played the original game, you know everything that's going on with the characters. But even here at the beginning, they're doing a lot of interesting setup stuff with Cloud and Tifa that maybe some people in the audience might be watching this and not knowing like what caliber of writing we're dealing with here, whether I'm supposed to take this seriously or whether it's just sloppy. There's a couple of interesting things already being done with Cloud and Tifa pretty much right up front. But
what was up with that girl anyway?
What was up with that girl anyway?
The real deal, huh?
What was up with her?
What was up with that girl?
I love that the question is what was up with her and not what was up with the ghosts.
Yeah.
Like the interaction with her was totally normal. Well, no, he doesn't understand what being flirted with means.
That's
Right.
true.
He can't tell. There's a drawing. There's a child's drawing on the refrigerator, and over here in the corner, you can actually see in the back. It's pretty low res, but there's two picture frames of the exterior and interior of the bar from the original game.
See that? Interesting. I didn't catch that.
I didn't either.
It's tucked away in the very back corner. You have to go back behind the counter to spot them decently in there. It's pretty dark, but yeah, there's two kind of things that are already fairly obvious with Cloud and Tifa at this point, but. I don't know, like I said, maybe some people who are unfamiliar with the material aren't sure how much credit to give the writing. And one of them, we have that moment in the very first episode after he jumps off of that collapsing bridge and Jesse goes, "That was pretty cool." And he kind of like grins and looks away just a tiny bit. We've got him flirting badly with Tifa. We've got Marl saying he's got a big sword but no skills. He's like, "I've got skills." Cloud wants people to think he is cool. Sometimes he is cool. He's got a big sword. He's good at killing people. He can jump high. Sometimes he does cool stuff. I'm not saying he isn't cool all the time, but he cares about what people think about him.
Absolutely.
He wants
and
people
that's
to think
decidedly
he's cool.
uncool.
Yes, exactly. Barrett's theme, we are not really going to hear properly in this game. A lot of musical themes from the original game, they're holding off until later entries in the series. The remake series, I should say. So we don't have just a straight Barrett's theme on the OST for Final Fantasy VII Remake. There's not just a track called Barrett's theme. However, there are a couple of scenes that feature a little bit of it, including the theme that plays during this scene.
Who do you think you are?
It's me, I'm Barrett. My theme is playing. This scene is about me, not about you, Shinra. Do you have a theme that says Shinra Creed, parentheses, Shinra Middle Manager? No. It says Shinra Creed Barrett's theme, baby. There are a couple of other themes in the game. You'll hear a little bit of him mixed in there, but the most direct track that just is Barrett's theme is this bluesy rendition of it. You can find the disc for. What else is there to do in this here bar when there's no one around except for me? I know. It's time to get good at darts. Ooh. Oh, wow. Wedge is at the top of the leaderboard, eh? Not for long.
Tifa and Jesse are tied, though.
Uh-huh. Who cares about them? I only care about being number 1.
Barrett's not that good.
Gold or nothing, baby. Well, Barrett lost his throwing arm. Darts at 101. So this game is a little bit hard to understand if you're not directly touching it yourself. It just like if you look at it, you might not really understand what's going on. Then obviously the game of darts is obvious. I mean, the way that it controls might be obvious if you're not the one like touching the controller, because it's like, well, what's the problem? You just move the stick and aim at the spot you want to aim at, right? So what happens is the game basically has natural drift built into it during this when you're aiming. So I'm aiming for the center. Let me take a quick shot or whatever, right? I play a couple of games of this to try and demonstrate how it works. First thing to note is that you'll notice there's like a reticle that's expanding and then contracting with that circle that's moving around. There's like a circle that's getting bigger, and now smaller, right?
Oh.
Basically, when you hit the button to throw, the dart is going to hit somewhere within that circle. If you wait until it's smaller, it's going to be more accurate. Mm-hmm. If you wait until it's the absolute smallest that it gets, it's going to be pinpoint accurate. But if you wait too long, it's going to start expanding again, and you might miss. And there is a kind of like contracting greenish-blue like cone that indicates how long you have to take the shot. Not cone, sorry. There's like a circle on the outside. Yes, I nailed it.
He's so...
Wait, hold on. Somebody might see me. I mean, no big deal that I'm good at darts.
I knew I was good all along.
It's not a big deal. So, I'm going to play another round here real quick, even though I've already gotten to the top of the leaderboard.
Lucky number 7.
Instantaneously.
Yeah.
So, in addition to the fact that you have to time your throw to actually be accurate, whenever like it goes, okay, now you're about to throw another dart, right? The place that your reticle starts, the game wants to automatically drift back towards. So if I push the stick away from there to aim at a different spot and I let go of the stick, it drifts back toward that position that it starts at.
Interesting.
So you have to gently push the stick and hold it at the right pressure to counteract the amount of pull that the game has on the reticle. So if you watch this, I'll push the stick away. Hold on, it was just to show, like, if you throw it right away, it's just going to hit wherever, right? So if you push the stick in a direction and let off of it, it drifts back to the neutral point that it started at, you see? Mm-hmm. So the whole time, you have to, like, fight against the pressure of the game trying to pull back to whatever central position it's designated for this particular throw.
It's like, I know that other games have done this, but I'm having a hard time thinking of another example.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not that crazy of a mechanic. It's just like if you're not playing it, you may not understand what the challenge is.
Yeah.
That you're fighting against this. You're fighting against this kind of this drift the entire time. Oh man! Suddenly I'm really bad at darts.
He was so good before.
Yeah. Anyway, I may have won the game in 7 darts, but I'm sure I can do better. After all, I've got soldier training.
Soldier boy.
Oh, I already messed it up.
Stop playing. Not worth it anymore.
Okay, I gotta earn these Mako eyes. I didn't quite finish saying it in the last episode, but yeah, I was talking about that there's like a part of his eyes that's a different color.
Yeah.
So there was discussion, the mention of Mako junkie, fumes from the Mako. There is also a controlled process by which a person's physical performance can be enhanced with the infusion of Mako into their cells. And this is a process that that I believe all soldiers, including second and third class, but at least first class, they all receive Mako infusions that increase their physical capabilities. And the tint to Cloud's eyes is a telltale sign that he's gone through that treatment.
You know, dart minigames in video game, it's like, if you have bowling in a video game, it's like, it's pretty consistently gonna be...
Perfect game, baby.
It's gonna be pretty similar no matter which game you're playing. But it's like, darts are wildly different in like every game. You know what I mean? Because you can't just aim and press the button.
It's not a big deal that I'm good at darts. If somebody sees me that I just did good at darts, they'll know it's not a big deal that I'm good at darts.
It's really cool to be good at darts.
But, like, I can't look like I care that I'm good at darts.
Yeah.
Because I'm casually that good at darts, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'm not trying.
Yeah.
If I was trying, it wouldn't be cool.
I haven't practiced.
What? It doesn't leave our 7 up there? We don't get 2 spots on the board?
So we actually got to hear Tifa's theme a little bit already. We played the rendition of it on the CD a second ago. But Tifa's theme plays when you get back to the bar.
Man, his hair do be spiky.
Oh yeah. And it also played when we got to the bar in the 2021 version, or 2020 version, that is. This is also a theme that I'm stopping to highlight because you will hear this melody all over the soundtrack. They only play like the straight just Tifa's theme a couple times, but you will hear this hidden in a dozen different themes. Yeah, Tifa's she and Cloud are well matched in some ways. You've probably been able to pick up on it already, that, I mean, obviously she's a little bit concerned about doing violences. Obviously, Jesse just said that very explicitly. But she's had, like, these, you know, like, she's been doing these, like, pop idol poses.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, now everything's gonna be great. And then, like, she actually, like, it was in one of those, like, lightly animated scenes, but it was, like, that facade broke for a second. At that one moment when she was like, hey, Cloud, let's go out and do something, and he reacted with confusion. She was worried that she was getting rejected, and she was like, I mean, you know, it's not a big deal. We don't have to. Tifa's got a few insecurities of her own for all of her apparent outward confidence.
Well, she's not even looking at him.
I heard you're having second thoughts.
Speaking of variations of Tifa's theme.
I know we have to think big if we're going to make a difference. But not like this. I feel trapped.
If it feels wrong, don't do it.
Guess that's that then.
What, they kick you out?
We agreed to disagree. So, you want another drink?
Tifa! Time to celebrate. Break out all the good stuff.
Oh, sure.
We won't be needing you for this next job. Feel free to look for work elsewhere.
Fine by me. That's how I like it. No contract, no obligation.
Figured you'd say that. Here, the rest of your payment. along with a little extra for your exemplary service. And thus concludes our business. Gonna have to ask you to leave now. This here's a private affair.
Huh? Ooh.
Sorry, I tried. We talked it over, but in the end, we didn't want to put so much on you. This is our fight.
Jesse, what's the holdup?
Be right there. No hard feelings, huh?
It's fine.
Let's talk more after I'm done here, okay?
About what?
It's fine.
Come on, Jesse, I'm dying here.
I'll catch you later. Sorry to keep you thirsty boys waiting.
Jesse, chill out.
Avalanche!
So you can get up and walk out anytime, but especially since you just were asked to leave, but you can also just sit and listen to them talk for like 3 minutes.
Amazing.
Best way to clear your head so you can focus when it counts.
I figured you could, but when I was playing, I was like, I was just like, come on, keep the momentum.
They did not give us the boot.
It was an amicable separation.
Just thinking about it's making me mad again.
Can't believe it's already been a year. I don't know how we managed.
Well, I do. It was you guys going above and beyond. Thank you.
No need for that, boss. We all knew what we were signing
They
up
will, they'll state it very explicitly, but, I mean, they basically just said it. Barrett is running a splinter group of Avalanche right now. There is a larger organization, and they had a bit of a disagreement about a year ago.
Tifa's got you covered there.
As a friend.
Broke off and formed their own.
Their own Avalanche with blackjack and hookers. Or in this case, darts and mysterious liquid form changing cocktail waitresses.
Notice how he drank the one that looked like piss, but he did not drink.
He did not finish the Cosmo Canyon though.
It's too girly.
It wasn't hard and bitter enough to impress her. Yeah, exactly. Too girly.
You guys. Don't take this the wrong way, but right now I need to spend time with the gang.
Whatever you say.
We'll talk later.
The last time Joey went to spend time with the gang, they forced him to watch Bad Gundam. I teased that 20 minutes ago.
It wasn't the last time. It's been the last few times.
I feel like we have a recording of you talking about this somewhere that I'm sure will wind up as a bonus feature at some point. Well, which Gundam are you being dragged?
It wasn't
Here's the thing. You enjoy some Gundam. There's some Gundam you really like.
I do. That's the thing. It's like I like
his stamped potato chips.
Oh my gosh. It's like I liked the OG Gundams movies. I liked 08th MS Team. I liked Stardust Memories. I like Thunderbolt. I like IBO. But we have been watching Zeta and Double Zeta.
And they're really good, right?
Double Zeta, of course, being the direct sequel to Zeta. And I have wanted to shoot myself. These shows suck. These shows suck. And before you say, but Joey, my favorite suit is from the show. That is because the show was made to sell toys, and they introduce a new suit every 2 episodes. It sucks my balls.
When you throw everything against the wall, something's gonna stick eventually.
The characters suck. Bright is a groomer who gets off on child soldiers.
Wait, what?
I'm not lying, it's true. He's a terrible human being, but so is every other person in that show. And it's not just the children, although the children are all terrible, especially the little children. They don't need to be there, and I actually cheered when I thought they blew up one time.
You told me about that one previously.
Yeah,
one time you thought a shuttle full of the annoying child characters.
That's what it was. There was a shuttle full of annoying children, and I was like, okay, great. And then it blew up, and I was so excited because I wasn't going to have to deal with the little children on the show. And then, there was one shuttle that got out, and it had them in it. Oh, it's so good. That show is above everything else, as is a lot of mecha, to be fair. It is a drama above everything else. And there are so many, it's like, The show would be so much more interesting if they had a lock on mobile suits. If there was a button, if there was a key to get in mobile suits, but anybody can just get in them. Anybody can just get in them for whatever reason, and they can desert for an episode if they want to, and then feel bad about it, and then get locked in the brig. Except, actually, sorry, the brig only shows up for 2 episodes, and it's barely even guarded, and you can just come and go, and it doesn't matter. It's whatever. But I'm not even getting into any of the good stuff. It's like there's just.
I knew we wouldn't have time for you to really talk about it, but I was like, shit. I promised that Joey would bitch about Gundam, and I was like, I knew you still had the piss and the vinegar in you.
Piss and vinegar. Okay, piss and vinegar condensed. The characters, terrible. Almost every character, terrible. Women of the show, worse than every other character. They did not know how to write them.
I may be a soldier,
and they're terrible.
but I am also a woman.
But I'm a woman.
So don't ask me to do soldier things.
I'm a woman first and foremost. And also, yes, I know I've been with the good guys, but I'm just going to be a turncoat because it feels good. And when I'm questioned about why I'm a turncoat, you don't understand my feelings. Because it's really well done. And it's terrible. But Joey, you cry to defend the show. You don't understand her motivations were complex, and also there was new type shenanigans going on and mind control. But it's stupid, so I don't subscribe to it.
I'm not sure if Joey's going to be in the next episode, so we had to get that out now.
And it's awful. And not all of it's awful, but I'm telling you, I think... Bold accusation. I think the last 3 episodes are the only ones that matter in Zeta. They're the only good ones. And Double Zeta, the very first episode is good, and then the next 15 suck my balls.
Oh wow!
Because it apparently, according to the people that were making the show, there was an edict where it's like, oh well, the last few episodes of Zeta were too intense. You got to make these more, lighthearted.
Excellent.
And by that, we have stupid children shenanigans, and you have slide whistles and goofy cartoon noises, and you have a character that was an actual bad guy being relegated to like a ha-ha, I'm gonna cause mischief, and then ride off in my motorcycle into the sunset, and then disappear from the show, despite being a pretty decent character in the original.
Awesome. That was a pretty safe place to have Joey have that rant, because all that just happened is some street toughs showed up, and they're looking for a man with a gun for an arm. They offered Cloud some money for information about the man with the gun arm.
He's dealing with the
He negotiated up for more money, and he was clearly just trying to lure them into an alleyway to beat the crap out of him. I love this.
The guys started the fight. They didn't ever really want to give him money.
I love that this guy surrenders and then throws a grenade at you while saying, "Let me walk away, please."
So I don't think this was Cloud instigated.
I don't think that he was trying to get money out of them. I think he kind of knew that was coming.
Yeah.
In fact, he said, Shinra's time, you mean? I think he was looking for an excuse to beat up Shinra thugs. However, those guys seemed to be from a place called Wall Market, and they said, no way.
Shinra knows better than to stick their nose in my boss's business, because I was reading subtitles.
Yeah, I knew you were. Because you heard Joey bitch about Gundam earlier, so it was all right.
And I could bitch for hours.
That was, I'm pretty sure that was the last episode that Aiden and I recorded 2 years ago. So I believe after this, Aiden should be blind. Hopefully Joey will be able to join us again, but we'll see what happens. Had to get the Gundam out now, just in case.
Don't worry, this passion will not disappear.